If an elephant could fly, he'd be the biggest bird in the jungle. So I personally don't want to hear about if comes. I want to deal with the reality. You know where they're going to park? Right on Bidwell Parkway, on these side streets. We have Buffalo, which is loaded with snow. These cars are going to interrupt cleaning our streets. It's going to be a nuisance for us, period.
Well, that was one of the residents of the Elmwood Village questioning Douglas Development executives at a neighborhood meeting earlier this week. Now, the meeting was held to discuss the development of a block of buildings at the corner of Elmwood and Bidwell. As 2 on Your Side's Nate Benson explains, with the costs of the project rising because of inflation, Douglas Development has had to make some changes, Nate, and that has some neighbors pretty upset.
Yeah, hey there, good evening, Mary Ellis. Lots of voices were heard this week as Douglas Development wants to increase the number of units from 34 to 50. That means raising the floors of the building by 1, so there'll be 5, and there'll be less parking for those in the neighborhood.
There is real parking, and the whole purpose of the Green Code was to say, use the land appropriately.
The problem is the parking is really horrible around here.
I've heard it before, and I know this. I know the constraints of parking this neighborhood.
According to Douglas Development Vice President Paul Milstein, Buffalo has to move forward.
Buffalo is a car city. I get that, but also Buffalo has to progress. Transportation initiatives have to move forward.
So your tenants are going to just have to progress, right?
How much
just
are you
your
going to be
tenants.
charging them for rent? Seriously.
I'd like to answer one at a time if I could.
For now, since the Bidwell project has no dedicated parking, Douglas Development is planning on allowing tenants of the 50-unit project to park at the Richardson complex. Then they'll be shuttled back to Bidwell. That way, tenants aren't eating up parking spaces in the neighborhood. Milstein says the company is open to other solutions.
What I did hear that I think we can make better is somehow encouraging our tenants, our future prospective tenants, to not have cars. So what can we do to incentivize tenants to live here that don't have cars? This is 50 units, right? There are a lot of people out there that don't use their cars every day, nor do they want to.
The other concern raised by neighbors is the proposal to add a 5th story to the project. Douglas Development will be seeking approval from the planning board to do that.
It's a residential neighborhood. I'm very well aware. I know what a house looks like. I get it.
Would you like to see what it's going to look like in our backyards? Would you like to see pictures of what it looks like?
No.
Okay, good.
Obviously, you don't care. This is the backyard. That is a 1-story building. This is now going to be 3 stories. See this open space here? This is now going to be 5 stories. This is what we will look at from our yards. See that is the 1-car garage. That is going to be 3 stories high. What are you going to do to the willow tree, by the way?
But we're a good neighbor, we're a good resident, we clean our trash, we keep our buildings immaculate, we pay our taxes. It's 7 feet. Whatever sun and shade you had affected before, this will not be a dramatic difference. There'll be you won't be able to tell from the sidewalk that extra 7 feet.
And again, Douglas Development will need a variance from the planning board to get that approval for that 5th floor. But at the planning board meeting this coming Tuesday, it's actually not on the agenda as of right now. Reporting live in the Elmwood Village, Nate Benson, Channel 2 News.